Alright, hello CD. Let's see if I can make something of this game. Say something that can help you out. Junker Town. That's pretty fitting for an Aussie like you. Damn, it even imports your crosshair for me. Kinda wanted to try red. Alright. The comp is kind of a mess. Well, not really a mess, it's just the Winston is out of place because the rest of your team just wants to bunker down. Usually you want to play pretty aggro on Lucio to make full use of his kit, but that's going to be a bit hard with this DPS, Barbarian and Junkrat. So you're doing the right thing, you're just kind of hanging out with the Reinhardt. Can't really do anything aggro here. The nature of this map. Ooh. This is good. Should maybe got to assassinate the Zen a little soon. But yeah. That's lit. Nice. You did a lot there. That's a bit risky. You always want to look at where your right is and just kind of hang out and see him. Your speed boost helps him more than anyone, like by a long. Well, yeah, I guess this is important to know. Like, when you're playing support, you should like take a good look at your team and actively decide like which person on your team you're actually going to like put an emphasis on. You know, like if you're like a Mercy, you'd want to pocket like a hit scan or something. And if you're a Lucio, you want to look at like who you need to hang out around, whether it's your other support or whether it's a tank. And your other support's Moira, so she can take care of herself. So the speed, like just the general assistance of Lucio on right, almost like full time, would make a huge difference. There isn't really much reason to go anywhere else, except like when that Winston went in right now, and you followed up, you jumped after him. That was really good. So when you're winning the fight, you can kind of change tanks. You can support the Winston instead. But in like a even situation, you want to focus the Reinhardt. And he does survive, which is really good. Maybe I spoke too soon. Nice, good job. That's exactly what you should be doing. How do you use your beacon? Ooh. Okay, I guess Reinhardt was low. Yeah, that was good. It's fine. It's not like a game-winning beat or anything. That was a good beat. I don't really have much to comment on. I guess I'm really used to reviewing DPS a lot more, but it seems like you're doing everything right. I mean, you could always be doing more. You could be kind of playing like a guerrilla style, where you go in a bit, hook their back line, and then go back out. But it's not necessary, especially when they have Winston, where you can do so much just hanging out with the ground. You want to bait them to the payload, bait them around your point, because that's where your DPS will get most value. I may have to review another game because I just am not able to find things to play down here. Alright. I don't think you're accomplishing much doing this. Like, I know it's impressive, but the longer you stay alive, the more impressive it is. But, yeah, I think this is actually where you can really you can actually kind of make a big impact not doing this, and instead, why is it so slow? Instead, if you were here right now and you were speed boosting these three relatively slow characters into the point, that would be making a big difference, because these few seconds that you buy over here are not that impactful as long as those guys reach by the time the payload reaches the end. That's really what matters here. And with your speed boost, they're gonna reach well in time, you know? Because the most likely situation here is basically you stall for a bit, you die, and anyway they fight a 4v6, and anyway they lose. And you could just be a god and never die, but even then, like, what do you achieve? You just achieve the payload being there instead of there. But it really doesn't matter where it is as long as it doesn't touch. What really matters is getting like a proper fight where your team isn't disadvantaged and actually has a chance of like winning the fight. So it's really important on Lucio to like in fight is like a different beast, but like you're like the crux to like the big part of your team's like strategy. And in fact, at like a normal elo, like your elo, like you're just gonna be the only person really thinking about strategy, you know? And like that's enough, honestly. If just your Lucio is thinking like, oh, this is how we group up, like this time we can't fight, this time I need to go back and taxi people back to the point. You know, you can that's like a game winning play, honestly. It's not flashy, but yeah, you should think about that in between fights. And if the majority of your team is not there, then as a Lucio, you really don't need to be there either. You can just, yeah. Alright. You do survive, okay, I suppose. But yeah, there was not much more you could have done there. Other than speed the team to play. No problem. So you guys lose the size here. What the hell's going on? It's so chaotic. You made it back. Was that a fast rollout or something? Like really fast. Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Okay, let's go. So you made it back. Damn. So this is one of them. It should be one. Yeah, we use this target's only one. Great.
I've sighted the enemy. Score.
If you guys take this point really easily on your attack, there really won't be much for me to say. That's why I always prefer to review losses. It seems like they just didn't know how to kill you. Even when you died, it was like really hard fought for them.
Ready for battle. Ready for battle. Ready for battle.
But yeah, for
Five, four,
I gotta say, on like a general level, that was kind of a carry. Good job. Even though it was a carry, and even though there was so little footage really to analyze, it still shows like you could have made a big difference taxing your team. Oh, this is just gonna be a roll. Okay, I did notice. Yeah, you should be playing a little bit more aggro here, because the way I said you should support your right, now it's different. Your combo's changed. Your Torbjorn has gone Reaper, and Reaper is like Lucio's best friend, or I should say, Lucio is Reaper's best friend. Reaper loves having Lucio around. He loves that little bit of extra healing when he's brawling. You know, he has his own healing, so Lucius is usually good enough for him. But the speed, like, you speed him closer, he does more damage when he's close. He's a bigger threat. He's a burst threat. Reaper's like an in and out kind of hero. You just love having Lucio right next to you when you're Reaper, and you could have changed who you're supporting basically. You don't really have to think about the payload that much. You just think about which teammate you've chosen basically to support. Usually it's going to be Orion, but if Reaper's there, Reaper's a really good shout. If Zarya's there, you once you pick a teammate like that, you kind of just always follow them around. And it's not really as boring as it sounds because they'll be doing some interesting shit. Like if you were following the Reaper right now, you would be like balls deep, you'd be getting shit done. Like this is a call to go more aggro in this situation. But you wouldn't have known whether to go aggro or not, or it seems like a minor point. But that's why I'm focusing on the like choose the teammate and support the teammate. Like that's how to. Because if you did that, you wouldn't have had to make that decision. It would have just been made for you, and you would have been doing the most optimal thing in that situation. You can isolate the line. If you guys lose this fight, I'll be really surprised. And that's it. I want to see the kind of games that you're losing at this season, and how is that happening? Because you played well there, so I don't really, it's harder for me to say like what it's gonna take for you to improve or what you should focus on from a game like that.